Hey everyone, Devin here with Backcountry Exposure. Why in the world did I feel it was necessary to spend nearly $700 on a backpacking shelter like this Tarptent Double Rainbow Lithium? Well, we're gonna get into that. So now as I've been trying to dial in my backpacking system a little bit more and create the ultimate lightweight backpacking system for me that works the best in any scenario that I find myself here in the environment of Utah, with high alpine mountains and the forest to the desert, I wanted a shelter that would accomplish two goals. First is that it is able to pitch in pretty much any location that I would find myself in. Second goal is that it creates the most amount of living space possible while also saving the most weight possible. That's what the Tarptent Double Rainbow Li accomplishes for me. So this is a sub 2 pound or about 29 ounces of weight dyneema composite fabric shelter. Let's talk about the pros and cons of dyneema as a shelter fabric. Let's talk about the cons first. One of the biggest things that is a huge barrier is the cost. Dyneema composite fabric, or DCF, is very expensive, unnecessarily expensive in my opinion. So cost. This is nearly $700. Yes, I could use and have used plenty of other shelters in the past that work just fine. They may be a little bit heavier, they may have different designs to them, may be a little bit more complicated, whatever it is, they work just fine. But this is an incredible fabric. It really is. It is very lightweight, it provides a lot of strength, and in comparison to sil nylon, when it gets wet, it does not sag. It doesn't absorb the moisture at all, and that's a big deal if you find yourself in a really wet environment or heavy rains all the time. When you compare it to sil poly, which is known to not sag the same way that sil nylon does, this is still going to be much lighter weight than a sil poly shelter, even though a sil poly isn't going to have that sagging issue that you get with sil nylon. So other pros to this is it's incredibly lightweight. When you compare sil nylon to dyneema, yes, this is going to be lighter weight. You can get this exact same shelter in a sil nylon fabric, but it is a several ounces heavier shelter than what this is as a dyneema. So yes, you are maximizing the weight savings with a dyneema shelter, with the understanding that you're just gonna have to spend more money to get it. So remember when I talked about maximizing livable space and weight savings in a backpacking shelter? Well, this Double Rainbow Li accomplishes that. It's a single wall shelter throughout the main body, and then here over the doors, you've got a thin nylon fabric with a no-seam mesh here, with a dyneema vestibule door that comes over that has a number 3 zipper that's a Uratech waterproof zipper. My issue with this is I'm worried about this number 3 zipper getting a lot of sand in it and just being not something that lasts for a long period of time, but we'll see how that does over the course or the life of the shelter. And this nice big ridge pole that encompasses the entire length of the shelter creates a massive amount of livable space in here. So instead of that pyramid shape that you get with a lot of the trekking pole shelters, you've got a lot of room at the foot end and the head end for you to maximize the living space here. It's also got a really nice tall peak height, and this brow pole really spreads out the ability for you to just have a wide open living space. So as I'm sitting here at the head end of the shelter, even as my back is really close to the back side of the tent, I've got a lot of space to sit up and move around. So we've got a nice big bathtub floor here. This is also made out of dyneema composite fabric. You've got the no-seam mesh with this kind of double wall, single wall hybrid design. The one thing that I really don't like, the lack of storage space. I've got a big Agnes copper spur that is awesome in the amount of storage and places to put various gear items, to get them off the floor, to help things dry out, all that kind of stuff. And you've got these dinky little triangle pockets here on the side that I'm just not a fan of. One of the other things that's incredible about this tent is the build quality. It really is sewn together so nice. You've got really nice tape seams. My understanding is that this shelter is sewn overseas in China in a factory, and it's amazing. The sewing and the stitching and everything on it is really well done, and I'm impressed by that, which is nice when you spend so much money on a piece of backpacking gear. One feature that I really like about this tent is the way that this bathtub floor is put together that just maximizes the ability to create as much ventilation opportunities as possible. So during a heavy rainstorm or something, I've got this mitten hook up here that allows me to attach this elastic loop to it that keeps the bathtub floor nice and high. But then when I am in a situation where I want maximum ventilation and airflow, then I just drop that down, and here on the inside of the tent I can adjust this little ladder lock that is faced in the direction specifically to do it from the inside of the tent. Then with this elastic loop here, I can slide up fabric out of the way, and I can clip this on here that just maximizes the ability for airflow to come into the tent. Now, a feature here on the Tarptent Double Rainbow Lithium is this porch mode that you can put the tent into. It's not set up exactly the way that it should be because I don't have a piece of cord here that's going to pull this tight. But with the trekking pole, I can put it through this loop and I can pull out this door, as well as the other door there I can unattach and put a second trekking pole, and that's going to allow for me to set this up. And they've got this little piece of fabric that rolls up that velcros to this side of the door that creates just kind of a little awning for you to have. It's not one of my favorite things about the shelter, but it is an option with this that's pretty cool that it's been built into that as an option for you to do if you've got trekking poles with you. So now if I lay down in the tent, just to give you an idea of how much space there is to lay down. Got my hands all the way up above me here. I've got plenty of space down here at my feet. This is incredible. Like, the amount of space in here is so awesome for how lightweight this tent is. It's sub 2 pounds, 29 ounces, and I've got so much space in here to load up my gear, to put my pack, to just be nice and comfortable. It is so important when you are spending weekends out in the backcountry and you need a place that is going to be kind of your home away from home. It's different when you've got different goals and reasons for being out in the backcountry. This may not be the best shelter for everybody in that particular case because it is a little bit big. It has a bigger footprint and it is heavier weight than other options out there, even though it is dyneema. But it still provides maximum living space and the ability to pitch in pretty much any location that I want. So I've now pulled all of the stakes from this to show you what this is now like as a freestanding shelter. So I can set this up on slick rock, I can move it around to different places. If I don't have the ability to stake it out, it's a really rocky area, I've got this now set up as a freestanding shelter. So there you go, everyone. That's the Tarptent Double Rainbow Lithium, a sub 2 pound backpacking shelter that fits exactly what I wanted out of the lightest weight shelter possible that created the maximum amount of living space. This is the solution for me, and I'm very, very excited about it. Excited to really put it to use this year and just enjoy having a new style of shelter, a new fabric to me for a shelter, and just bring back to you guys basically what my experience is like with this over this backpacking season. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not, and yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Have a good one.